Hi, I'm Mike Proulx at Hill Holliday, and here at the FutureM headquarters, which are at Hill Holiday's Boston offices, I'm speaking with Brian Cusack, who is the head of display for Google. Brian, thanks so much for coming in to talk with me and our FutureM audience.
Thank you, Mike.
FutureM is all about celebrating innovations in marketing. Are there things that stand out with the use of paid digital media specifically that you find particularly innovative?
So I think that I would kind of look at innovation in a couple of different ways, I think. There's the technology component, there's the creative component, there's the kind of communications plan component. If you look at creativity, but also look at use of technology, I think this may be cliche because it's been out in the market for a while, and I think it's won some awards. But are you familiar with what HBO did for True Blood in season 2? They did some really innovative things. They were innovative from a creative perspective, but it was innovative from the number of marketing or tech platforms that they combined. So I would just advise people to go look at what True Blood did. But the ability to, the creative side, faux blogs from the characters, the integrating, the blurring of lines between the fantasy of the show and real brands. I think like Harley Davidson, Mini Cooper, Geico, companies that they actually they put themselves into the brand, right? And they did it from on a digital perspective, creating viral videos. They also did it on an offline perspective. So I think they actually combined creative innovation with platform innovation. I actually think that when I look at something like what Target is doing in retail, I'm not. Is it earth-shatteringly innovative? I don't know. But they're at least identifying what the strengths of different platforms are and leveraging large platforms the right way with different creative executions, or even, call them technology executions. If you look if you look at what Target does on Facebook, I don't know if you've ever looked at what they've done on Facebook, but if you look at their page, okay. Yes. I think it's great, right? I mean, they know what the audience is there, and they have like a college tab and a roommate app, and it's just right in the heart of who a large part of the Facebook audience is, and I think that almost suggests when the right customer for Target or the right user of the for instance the roommate app comes along, it's almost like there's a wink that happens between Target and the consumer that says, hey, we know who's here, and we're going to give you something that's right for while you're here. So again, creatively, from the platform perspective, may or may not be innovative. I think it is. There's not many other people are doing it, so that in and of itself might be definition of innovative. Then if you go look at what they're doing on YouTube, it's something completely different, right? They're utilizing a carousel piece because they have a lot of video assets. Right. May not make sense for those video assets. They're not just plastering everybody with the same thing in different places, right? So they have TV assets, other video assets that live on YouTube, which is the video destination. And so they take advantage of that. So they're really being smart, and I guess we can say innovative in terms of how they leverage different platforms. Those could be a couple of examples.
The degree and preciseness of the targeting capabilities within digital media continues to advance really rapidly. And as that's happening, more and more people are being concerned around privacy. Yeah. Do you think that these concerns are legitimate? Or is it just the industry trying to deliver more relevant ads and messages?
I think both, okay? And it's not a dodge of an answer, but clearly we've had different players in the space trip around different user, the way they've dealt with users and their information, okay? And they've admittedly tripped in terms of how they've dealt with personal and private information. I'm not certain that the average consumer understands how much data is available about them or not. Obviously, there are privacy activists who are watching out for everybody, and they point it out, and they draw great fears, among consumers. But again, I don't think the average consumer knows exactly what's necessarily out there about them and what could be at stake. I think we have to be worried about government getting too involved in this type of thing, but I think the average consumer may not know. Okay, in terms of the industry trying to be more relevant, absolutely. But the players in the space, I think, have to understand whether or not the average consumer knows or doesn't know, has to let the consumer always be in control of their own information and their identity, and make it extraordinarily simple for them to be in control of their information and their identity, so they can choose how much they want to share or not share. And Google's doing a lot. Google is doing a lot in that area. There's if it's being able to use Google Talk off the record, or Google Dashboard for managing your own data, ad preference managers, things like that. Google does a lot to give consumers the ability to do that. And at the end of the day, I do think a consumer wants a relevant ad. I mean, depending upon where you spend a lot of time on the web, if you're spending a lot of time on the web where a lot of people are spending time on the web, you're seeing lots of irrelevant ads.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so some of it becomes funny. Some of it becomes, funny to the point of silly if you actually pay attention to the ad. But it also has a risk to creating blindness to the ad. If you're getting programmed to the point where the ads you see repeatedly are not relevant to you, you will start to, not only is click rate going to go down, but any observation of the ad will start to disappear if you're continually receiving an irrelevant ad. And there are enormous numbers of irrelevant ads delivered on some very popular sites on the web. And so I think we have to continue to push the data and the targeting component of it. At the same time, we give consumers as much control as we possibly can, so we keep the privacy advocates happy and don't invite any other form of introspection or spotlight on the space.
I've been talking with Brian Cusack, who is the head of display for Google. On behalf of Hill Holliday and FutureM, I'm Mike Proulx.